Hello, y'all. Uh, 1 second, let me grab a thing. Nearly, nearly forgot to do one quick thing for the stream. I did set the temperature down, so I don't have to worry about that. Oh. Hey y'all, how's it going? It's Monday. Hope y'all had a good weekend. I've been a little, I'll tell you, I've been feeling a little under the weather. A little bit crummy. But not anything that cold medicine won't take care of. Just a little sore throat. And some weirdness, like sleeping. I don't know. Had like some really weird dreams like Saturday night. That even though I slept like 12 hours, I felt really just exhausted in the morning. And then I realized like after that, oh, probably sick. You know, I didn't realize that in the moment. I was just waking up at like 4 a.m. and going like, it feels like the world's ending. Feels like the world's ending. I'm in bed, but I'm like burning up and, I shouldn't, this bed should not be this hot. What the hell's going on here? It's like, in my delirious dream, I just had to keep telling myself no. Like, the pizza chefs did not become the mafia, and the mafia be the pizza chefs. That doesn't make sense. That's not how anything happens. Outside, everyone else is still going about their business. But I told myself that, I was like, okay, well, go back to bed then. And that didn't work. I just kept having that idea just go around my head repeatedly. I guess that's fever dream adjacent? I guess it was fever dream adjacent. It was like weird nightmares that didn't end when I woke up. So, I guess that's about the definition of a fever dream, eh? Didn't actually mean to talk about that. Just, hey, figured that's what I've been up to the last couple of days. In addition to other stuff, which I'm sure to touch on. For instance, hey, let me say... Oh, wait a minute. 1 second. Forgot to do something. That is one of the things I want to talk about, but there's other things that should be in there. But I forgot to update once the thing. Let me check that real fast. This is my cards. Yeah, they're in the right order. They just need to be updated in OBS. I might as well talk about that one first, though. Like I said the other day, the mouse that I've been using for years and years and years looks like this, and I've loved this mouse. And but it's gotten to the point where it doesn't really work anymore, and they don't make any more of them. So it finally came time for me to just get another mouse and live with it. And I ordered this mouse based off Wirecutter's recommendations. I have it right here in my hand. I have it right here, you see? Exactly as the image says. It has like extra buttons for like programmable actions. Which are pretty cool, I guess. I don't know. They are like a little limited insofar as like, oh, well, I thought they could just be like Alt. Like hold down Alt, but that's not an option apparently. But you can do a special click that's like Alt plus a click, which, I have set one of the buttons to be that because I do use that to like crop images in OBS, which is a regular ass thing. And geez, I forget what the other one I ended up using it for. This gamepad is too hot to have in the lap. I need to get this gamepad off my lap. Another reason why the Wii U perhaps didn't like go the distance. Well, not like the people who didn't have it knew the problems of it. Honestly. All right, there we go. Next one will be the card that I intended to be first. Anyway, I got it. I don't know. It's different from what I'm used to. I'm so used to like having a middle click that's just a button, you know, and having to click in a wheel again. I will always think that that is just not ideal on the finger. You know, it's a little bit. You have to put on so much pressure, and it always feels like the wheel isn't really designed to take that sort of pressure, like, without effort, you know? Whereas, like, a button, you can just click that in any day of the week. It's too narrow, most wheels are. Too narrow to be really feel good as a button. And yet also too tall, and a whole host of problems. I don't know exactly how you'd fix it. I guess, like, I guess what I'm looking for is a little conveyor belt. It's like, just sliding up and down. You know, so it can be flat upon, like, press. I think a flat button feels a lot better than, like, a big circular button. You know? But I also, there's, like, a side press here with the thumb, and I assigned that to be middle click. But also, whenever I do that, it feels like I have to work and have to think about, like, not letting it slide a little bit. Anyway, I wouldn't say I'm, like, super happy with this mouse so far, but maybe it's a learning process. I'll get used to it. I might continue looking and seeing if there's other mice I should really get my hands on. Maybe not a Logitech one. I don't really like their software very much. The software that used to be for my old mouse, this one, always failed repeatedly. And the new one doesn't have, like, as many options as the old one does. You just have to use, like, the built-in options more, which kind of sucks, you know? Anyway, it is what it is. Maybe I'll continue researching. Maybe I'll return this one. I will say I would like to find a mouse that A, I really like, and B, comes in different colors, so I can have one for the couch and one for the computer area, you know, the desk, and not confuse the two. Have them be, like, immediately recognizable. Okay, you go here, you go there. You know. Right now, I'm still using one of the old mice that, you know, is also sure to eventually, you know, give up. You know, eventually break down. Oh, whatever, you know, ongoing process. The WarioWare 30-minute channel point thing will be the final one. I will say last Friday, we had redeemed the 30 minutes of shield surfing in Tears of the Kingdom incentive that's been on the books for a while. And as a result, we now moved on to the one that I had been planning for a while as the successor, which is 30 minutes of a microgame of the Redeemer's Choice. That'll be a channel point reward that'll basically, like, derail the stream for 30 minutes and force me to play the same microgame repeatedly. Now, I think these incentives have been a fun little novelty, and I enjoy giving the viewers the ability to, like, derail a stream for a certain amount of channel points, but I feel like as the streams have gotten more focused and less variety, you know, I'll say, like, usually most streams now have one game or, like, one topic, and you know, they don't really bounce back and forth between multiple things so much anymore. I think the 30-minute thing... My nail needs a little bit of a trimming. Grab my nail file. I think they have become less relevant over time and more in need of a rethinking. So, this will be the last one. They'll just be, like, triggerable anytime, any stream. Maybe we might do, like, future iterations of this. Might be just, like, for a certain stream, or, like, something more for, like, a one-off occasion. And it might be a thing where it's a channel point goal, where multiple people have to contribute to it and agree that it's a good idea. And also maybe it'll be a end of the stream thing rather than a middle of the stream thing, just so that, you know, in the case of, like, viewer levels, people don't have to wait through it. let's say. But WarioWare, I think this is a great idea, and I think that it gives the viewers the opportunity to come up with a really fucked up micro game for me to play, or maybe for 30 minutes, or maybe they'll pick a good one that I actually might enjoy playing for that amount of time. I'm gonna grab a quick nail file and nail clipper real fast. 1 second. Oh, it's always something, huh? Okay, okay, this other order of business is the Thursday stream. Now, last Thursday, we did the Game Pass stream, and I did mention we had enough games to do another one this week, but, I think let's hold off on that a bit, maybe for like a week or two, and, instead I got some other ideas. Let me do the card, and I'll show you my other idea. I want to see if the Metroid Prime 2 randomizer runs well enough while running OBS and TITS, which is the thing that lets you throw Pikmin at me. I want to see if it does work, if it's like a good enough frame rate, if it's not like super terrible to watch, and if it does run well enough, we'll do that, and I think that'll be a bit of fun. I've tried that randomizer before off air, and it seems pretty cool. The only thing is, it's a little framey, even off air, so I'm a little concerned when OBS is running, when the stream is going, and when there's this software with the Pikmin. I'm a little concerned that all that's going to be too much. But let's find out Thursday, sort of a live fire test. And if it doesn't work, we'll switch to Metroid Fusion randomizer, which we've done many a time. Many a time, maybe an exaggeration. Plenty of times. We'll do a little bit of that. I'm sort of in the mood for some randomizers right now. Is my thought. My thought process there. In the mood for some randomizer play. That'll be Thursday. Simple enough. Okay. And last one was the mouse. Again, new mouse. Seems alright. Need to get used to it. Anyway. That's all the stuff I wanted to stay up top. I'm gonna take my drink. I don't remember when I put this drink here, but it's full of water, so that's good enough for me, and it's cold. Must have done it like a couple hours ago, because I don't think I did that in my prep. At least I don't remember. It was like a few hours ago. Anyway. That's all the up top stuff. It is time now to start into the game tonight. And, play it. We are starting where we left off. We just took a little bit of a trip down back into Hyrule. I don't know if I can show it, but if you look closely at one of Link's hands, maybe it doesn't show up during gameplay, but he does have now the Triforce of whatchamacallit, Courage. You know, he has that on him. What are you doing, Link? Just being a little weird guy. Ooh, ooh, ooh. The King of Red Lions is getting concerned, Link. What are you doing? Anyway, we have the Triforce of Courage. And we have the fully powered up Master Sword. Ganondorf does not appear to be on the surface anymore, according to some fish Some fucking fish told us that last time. So we headed down to the Hyrule to, you know, meet up with Zelda, who is, of course, right in there in the castle, in Hyrule Castle. Gonna go in there, reunite with Zelda. Maybe I don't know what's happened after that. We're gonna reunite with Zelda. It's gonna be normal, by the way. Zelda was Tetra earlier. That's not you know, it was revealed much earlier. It's not super important. No. It's not that much of like a big deal that she was the one. Other than like, oh yeah, you knew her from the start. I guess. I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna meet up with Zelda, who was once called Tetra. Who was also called Tetra when she was a character. You know, before becoming a MacGuffin to be hidden away, and then, you know, whatever happens next. You know, you probably know. Things are maybe not going to be as good as I perhaps am pitching. We're gonna go in there and we're gonna find out what's what. Oh, and by the way, I will say Lunar Droid followed earlier today? 16 hours ago. Was that today? Yes. Or like last night. Thank you for the follow, Lunar Droid. Always like to thank people who follow, even if they follow when I'm off the air. Though sometimes I only do it like 30 minutes in or so, you know. Uh-oh. This doesn't look good. The hell did you do to my statue? Oh no. I like the idea that he would come in here and just specifically bust up the statue. Oh no, he busted up other stuff. Like he busted up that pillar. Are we sure those pillars weren't already busted up actually? I feel like he just did the statue in as a petty little thing, you know? Little petty Ganondorf. Oh, well, she's okay, though. Wait. The statue was okay. Like... Wasn't the statue, like, not destroyed earlier in the game? I swear the statue was not destroyed earlier in the game. Let me check. I think I have, like, a... I think, like, the thumbnail of a previous episode was that statue. So I remember it, like, vaguely well. Let me scroll. Yeah, the statue was intact 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago? No, 3 weeks ago. Just shy of 2 weeks. Just basically 3 weeks ago. The statue was all fine. What happened? Who busted up the statue and then didn't go inside to like actually steal away Zelda? Let's find out. Maybe it was Tingle. Maybe Tingle's the bad guy. Maybe it was the King of Red Lions, the king, or King Rome. They give his name as Rome in there? Uh-oh. That was bad. You should do that more often. Oh no, it's two of the guys I just beat like a half dozen of over the last couple hours of gameplay. Well, these guys have like slightly different armor, so it should be good. Now, surely this'll work much better. No. No. Well, they seem to take more damage at least, hey. Not that much more damage, but better. I like, you know, I feel like Twilight Princess doesn't quite stand the test of time as well as Wind Waker does. To me, anyway. Well, I say the test of time. I wasn't really the biggest fan of it even at the time, so maybe test of time isn't really the thing. Actually, you know what? Scratch that. Honestly, as Twilight Princess gets older, I do feel like it gets more appreciated as it becomes like the fourth of 5 of these games, you know, 3D Zeldas of the traditional style, and it's mostly of the traditional style, and isn't like as bloated as Skyward Sword. It is definitely the 4th best one of the traditional 3D Zeldas to this day. I was gonna say though, the one thing I think was really cool of Twilight Princess is the finisher move. That move's pretty cool. Just when you have a guy down, oh yeah, you can jump on them and do the whole pya thing and finish them off. Makes sense to do so when your enemy is down to kill them. Versus like in some of these earlier games where, yeah, they just go down and they just have a break from being hit by you. You know? Okay, here we are in Hyrule. I actually don't know there's gonna be like... Where are gonna be the segments of this? This isn't a real part. This is still like before Ganon's castle. But this is Hyrule basically. It's not expansive, it's just like a path. Very, very, very hemmed in by like canyons at either side. It would have been so cool if this had been like a second overworld, or if even there had been the slightest bit of like exploration here. You know, maybe if you had to like access the other temples, the ones that are like quote unquote on the surface. If you had to access them through like traveling across Hyrule, that would have been dope as hell. You know, similar to many a Zelda game that have multiple maps. Of which, hey, there's a couple of them I would talk about probably later tonight. Maybe not even that much later. Hey, why don't I do a card? We're just walking here. We're just walking from one place to another. I'll say like I say towards the tops of my streams. These cards are things I've been meaning to talk about, and to give me something to talk about while just doing, you know, stuff. We first do, did you see that Twitch clips no longer automatically save? Which is good. Previously, I don't know this is really news, but I'm sure, like, other people who are streamers might understand this and go like, oh shit, good. I don't think this is a thing that, I think this is a thing that most people who don't like stream never realize. That like, when they hit the clip button, previously, when they hit the clip button, and they just like look at the clip and don't actually put in a name, don't actually hit save, previously it would actually save and make a Twitch clip that was just named after the video in question, the VOD in question, or like the current title of the stream in question, depending on like when you clip during a stream or what. Anyway, what am I saying? They've changed that so that you don't do that, which is great because I feel like most people didn't understand how that worked, and as a result, we're just like unintentionally making like clips that were not even meant to be clips. You know, just like a random 30 seconds of otherwise regular ass stream. Hey, here we are in Ganon's Tower. By the way, I guess this'll be the Ganon's Tower boss rush of like the existing guys. We're gonna fight like the bosses from. There's only 4 of them. I guess the 4 dungeons that were like Ganondorf related. The Tower of the Gods one, that one doesn't really apply because, you know, it was the gods that did that one, not Ganondorf. Anyway, we're gonna do each of them in turn, and in the meantime, I bet I will talk about things. To finish my thought that I had before entering the tower on Twitch clips, it's a great improvement. I hope that there are other... Hello, Seagull. I hope that there are other changes to clips coming. One that I would say would be a much-needed improvement would be the ability to let clip editors set what game in a VOD they are clipping for. As is, the only way to do that is to change the game of the VOD itself, which, you know, other people other than the uploader or the streamer cannot do. I don't know why I'm clearing these guys out before we go into one. Let's see. Which one should we go into first? Anyway, good change. Looking forward to more. Which one is the... I think that one's the Earth. This one is the... No, that one's the... Wait. I think that one's the Earth. That one's the Wind. Forbidden Forest? No, that one looks like Earth. It's got windmills. I don't know which one is which, honestly. Maybe this one is gonna be the first dungeon. Which, the first dungeon was Valoo. So what the fuck? Is there gonna be like an evil Valoo in there? How does that work? Hey, Seagull. It's going, I'm doing OL, I guess. Been feeling a little shit this weekend, but nothing a little bit of a like cold medicine can't take care of. How you doing? I think this one is going to be Dragon Roost. So let's go in and do it. Nope, this one is this one's Earth. Hope you feel better. Yeah, I feel alright. The worst of it was like Saturday night. Saturday night was weird. Okay, let's try this one maybe. This one is... This door looks familiar. I kind of want to do these in order. Oh yeah, this one's... Yeah, this one's it. Doing okay? That's great. Swing from... How about another card? You swing from, like, vine to vine here, or do you just... Next card, finished Oracle of Seasons. Been playing that since it came out on NSO, on Nintendo Switch Online, Game Boy Online, you know. And finished it over the weekend. I was pretty damn pleased by it. Really enjoyed all the dungeons. You know, all 8 of the like main ones in that. I thought they were all pretty damn good. Really love the seasonal stuff, like seeing the world like repainted in like fall colors, spring colors, summer colors. I thought that looked really nice, especially given that it was just the Game Boy Color, so it didn't really have that much of a wide color gamut. And yet they got like each season like looked really nice, I thought. Compared to like you know, the flavor of each season came through clearly, and each season had some small, minimal, like, differences that made it, like, relevant for puzzle solving. My one comment would be, like, you know, to say... here's one thing they could have done. My one thought, as far as, like, as far as the thing they could have done for Oracle of Seasons. They should have made it so that the sword was just the Oracle Rod, you know? It's a little tedious to have to switch to your fucking seasonal stick every time you need to switch the seasons. You know what I mean? They could have just made it so that, whenever you stepped on a log, you just hit your sword and that switched the seasons up. Or made it so that it was automatic, or like, it got equipped every time you jumped on a log. You know, more similar to like in like Minish Cap, where there's not like an item to turn into Minish mode. Anyway, I thought it was a great gimmick. There is also like the underappreciated parts or like, maybe not underappreciated is the wrong word. There's the whole like underground area of that game, which I thought was pretty neat as well. Sort of added some fun little areas to explore that were like, you know, beneath the world, but like not in a way that felt unnatural. And I really liked it. I feel like as a 2D Zelda games, it's one of the most easy to approach, as far as like the puzzles aren't too complicated, and generally speaking, you can just like walk in the direction of your objective, you know, and the tree will even say at the start of each mission, he'll say like, oh, I'm thinking you need to go east, young man. You need to go to the eastern part, and there will be a thing for you. You know, I'm thinking it's in the eastern forest or something like that. And I thought that was really nice. Just having that direction each time meant that I could really just relax and explore the world. I probably need to be letting go at like the end of the swing, don't I? Just meant I could just explore in a direction, and generally speaking, I could find my way to the next level. Which is which I find like really nice compared to the likes of, say, Link's Awakening, which just operates on moon logic comparatively. You know, you never know who you need to talk to or what you need to do, because none of it makes any goddamn sense, you know, in that game. To the point where you're like constantly consulting a guide. And I'll say I did consult a guide a couple of times, but it was not that frequent compared to Link's Awakening. Not that frequent at all. Do another card while we're I think I nearly got it now. Unless those guys are gonna be mean. What the hell is going on here? Does this seem doable? Is this jump doable? What the hell? Almost as if he'd... You know what? We need a new strategy. That's what we need. Do ice arrows work here? Oh shit, they do. Well, fuck the grapple then. We're using ice arrows and thing. And the well, actually, let's not be so hasty. Maybe for this one. Well. Another card. I started Oracle of Ages, the second one. Played quite a bit of it last day and so. I finished the previous game on like Sunday, and I started up the next game. You know, these two, Seasons and Ages, were sort of like a pair, and you can sort of like do a password thing to quote unquote import your save, unquote unquote. it's not really importing your save, but it's basically sort of like importing your save. Not sure how you would get this water. God the fucking. So I started it, got like 2 dungeons in. I finished the 2nd dungeon, and I've went out to the Mystery Island, and I've done the next step of that. I've gotten through the Mystery Island quest to get to the point where I am just where I am entering the I've done the Mystery Island quest and I've entered the 3rd dungeon. Which, you know, seems pretty, I don't know about it. I've just entered it, and then I saved, and then it was time to start the stream. Here we are, boss fight. Oh, it's like a memory, okay. That's the idea. And also, hey, I don't even have any items that I have, like, in my present day. I only have what I had at the time. And I'm gonna guess it assumes that you're not, like, sequence breaking or anything. Well, actually, it does give you the bottles. I have bottles that I didn't have. You're gonna head out. Good night, or good morning. You said good morning. It's morning in your time, apparently. You have a good day, Eagle. I swear the motion controls felt better originally, but maybe I'm just like, I'm locked in a little bit with my, with the power being in there. Anyway, Oracle of Ages. I'll say, like, going into it, I'm struck with the thought that, like, oh wow, this is much different than I expected. You know, I think really with Oracle of Ages, I was expecting it to be just literally Oracle of Seasons, but with a different mechanic for, like, switching the overworld from one style to another, right? Instead of seasons, like A, B, C, D, it'd be ages, and it'd be very similar. But in fact, the 2 seasons, the 2 times, they in fact operate more like the Subrosia from Seasons, more like just the Dark World from Link to the Past, except it's there from basically the start, and it's kind of more subtle in its difference than you know, a Dark World or the Depths, or, you know, you name it. You name the, like, the dark era, the like alternate area in, like, a Zelda game. It's a lot more subtle. It's like, okay, the future, the present, is very saturated and happy. The past is very downbeat and desaturated. Which is like, okay, that's a kind of cool, like, way to separate the eras, I guess. It doesn't really compare to, like, the seasonal separations, which, you know, is really attractive, colorful, and, like, nice. Hey, we did it. 1 out of 3, but it's something. Anyway, I'll say so far, I am wondering, like, did I ever... my first thought was, like, this feels entirely different from what I thought it was. Did I know I bought it on 3DS Virtual Console. I wonder, playing Oracle of Ages now, if I ever actually play the damn thing, or, you know, I just started Oracle of Seasons, never finished it, and thus never had the chance to go back and do Oracle of Ages 2. My second thought is like, well, it's very similar to... That's not right. I I will say it's a much different game from Oracle of Seasons, which surprises me. I've even heard it does have different items as well, in addition to like the feel and the structure of it being pretty different. You know, there are similarities. Wait, what's the deal here? What the hell? Saved. There are similarities. For instance, like, after every dungeon, and there are 8 of them, presumably. 8, like, you know, major ones, and then a final one. And maybe a final one, since I'm, you know, that's, like, not game-specific, but whichever one you do second. But, after each of the 8 dungeons, the tree will call you up and say, like, hey, here's where the next dungeon is. Go wild. I would say, though, in Oracle of Ages, I would describe it, I would characterize it as, mildly more annoying. Because there's 2 overworlds that are, like, equally important, it's less clear where you're supposed to go at any given time, you know? It's not like in Seasons where it's like, okay, go to the forest in the west. So you just like head west and wander and you'll find your way. Instead, in Oracle of Ages, it's like, okay, you need to go to the graveyard. You need to find like a dead guy who was alive in the past but is dead in the future. You need to do a thing with the graveyard. Okay. And next you need to like go a place and meet a guy who wasn't there earlier. That's the next step. You need to intuit that a guy is just gonna appear, and that guy is gonna be important. I don't know. I'm so far like... I feel like, the amount of, like, overworld, subworld stuff in... The amount of overworld, subworld stuff for Subrosia in Ages, in Seasons, was, like, perfect. And I feel like in Ages, it's, like, a little bit much. It's a little bit tedious. You know, always going to, like, spots where you travel between, to and from the fast. I feel like that's gonna get old quick. Now, maybe as you go forward, you eventually get the ability to, like, warp back and forth on the spots. Currently, though, it seems like a lot of, like, okay, go to the future, do a thing, talk to a person. There's a lot more talking to people in Ages compared to in Seasons, which I think is more inconvenient for me in 2023, who just wants to, like, wander towards my destination and find my way there, you know? I'll also say, for being the quote-unquote more puzzle-based one, I'm not, like, super impressed by these puzzles. They're, like, okay, but it's like, okay, well, some of the mechanics they're using are weird and fiddly. I don't know if they're, like, up to par, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, Oracle of Ages. I'm playing it for what might be the first time. But also, so far I think I stand by my thought. The Seasons has more of a claim to fame, you know? Has more of a, is more appealing broadly, you know? And I think I like it more. So far, anyway. We'll need to see where it goes, how it develops. The Monkey Island thing was, I guess it was an interesting take on the puzzle. On, like, a puzzle progression where it's like, oh shit, it's sort of like an Eventide Island situation. You sort of have to work your way back up to... You sort of have to work your way back to a thing. You know, but it did it in a way that was annoying. You know, where, oh, I have to go back and forth to get my items back to solve the puzzles. Ugh. Could they have done this without the backtracking? And without, like, having to repeatedly go from point A to point B to point A to point B to point C to point D, you know? I think Seasons is a cleaner game, and for my money, for my taste, I would say a better one. What do I know? I need something to put on the Switch. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, no, yeah, that's correct. How about you guys come over here? I'll get you over here. Anyway, that's my thoughts from the first 2 dungeons, plus the Lost Island area of Oracle of Ages. I had it down in my backlog as 4 out of 5, but I am wondering now if that was just on, like, the description of it, you know? If I didn't just, like, play one and go, like, if I didn't finish the one I was more interested in, I'm probably, like, marginally less interested in the other one. Crap, we need another OL egg. Well, I have light arrows, so... Do I have light arrows? Where do you get light arrows? I don't have light arrows. That's later, I guess. Or do you get light arrows in this game? I'm not sure. I have to deliver this. Put this rock over there. I still, right now, am leaning towards what I said. I might revise the review on backlog, but 4 out of 5 so far feels right for it. What are you doing? Dude! Okay. Asshole. Fuck you. Stolen me up there. Nearly made me miss my stairs. Nearly. Anyway. How about another card? We're just fighting this guy. I finished Venba. Started playing Venba last Thursday on stream. One of the Game Pass streams, very recent release, about like cooking, about an immigrant, Indian immigrant. Oh shit! What am I doing? You like use bow and arrow for this? Try. It didn't work as well, I guess. It's about Indian immigrants to Canada, like living their life in in Canada, and that story is sort of framed through like cooking mini games and such. We ended the stream. Well, we stopped playing that after like an hour and a half or so of gameplay, and turns out there was not that much of that game left. Oh shit. There was not that much of that game left. Turns out I just had to do like one more cooking thing and like one cutscene, and it was done. Which kind of makes me wish in retrospect we had just like done that on stream, but hey, you know, you don't know when you do a stream how much of a game is left unless you played it, or unless like chat tells you, right? So really, I didn't know if it was a good stopping point or not. We totally should have finished it. Anyway, I guess I'll say like my feelings haven't changed since that stream. Still one hell of a game, and for being free as part of game, or like, I shouldn't say free. For a game that is included with Game Pass, it is a no-brainer. You should try it out. It's an hour long, but you know, that's perfectly good. You're talking about a game that is just like for free on Game Pass. In fact, the fact that it's an hour long, 2 hours tops, is even better. Makes it so that you can fit it into like an afternoon very, very, very easily. Like the most easily. Would highly recommend it. God. Looking at the phase transition there. Would highly recommend Venba. Check it out. Game Pass, Xbox. I don't know if it's on other... I think it was in a Nintendo's Direct, so I think it is on Switch as well. But, you know, you'd have to pay money for that. What are you doing? Get it on Game Pass. Game Pass is good. I suppose if you don't have Xbox Series X and you're not interested in doing like you're not interested in doing like the whatchamacallit, the remote play cloud streaming thing. I guess if you're not interested in that, like, yeah, okay, get it on Switch, but yeah, like, yeah, I think that it's definitely, like, up there. Damn it. Definitely one of the top games of the year. I'll say it's definitely going to be in my top 10. I am 99% sure at this rate. Honestly, any game that's like really, really good has a fair chance of getting into my top 10 at this point right now. Let's do another card. I played a bit more of Figment 2. Another game from the Game Pass stream. Just a tiny bit of it. Turns out we were very close at the when we like came off that game to seeing like a little bit of a boss battle with like the dude on the cover art with of that game. The box art, whatever the fuck. What do you call it? Album art? No, that's not it. Cover art? I guess cover art. The art in like the thumbnail and like the... What the hell? How did you fall? Figure. You know, the art. The guy on the box. If there was a box. There's not a box. It's a online... It's an indie game, I think. Anyway, that game seems alright. I might play more. I only played a little bit, and then I thought, like, oh, man, let's do something else. This is a good place to stop off. I got to another area, basically, after that, I got to another area and said, like, oh, okay, perfect. Let's go as far as this and no more. I like in that game, it seems like a pretty cute little adventure game in, like, action game clothes. And I would say, like, I would compare it to, like, what games would I compare it to? I need my grapple hook. I would compare it to, like, dude, fuck off. YouTube, fuck off. YouTube. Get out of here. I would compare it to, like... It's an adventure game at heart. But it, like, masquerades a little bit as, like, an action game. Do not mistake it for, like, you know, a really good action game. It's not that. It's more like a puzzle game where you play it like an action game. I feel like there are Double Fine games that are like that. What's a good example? I feel like there's one on the tip of my tongue. Super Paper Mario. You know how Super Paper Mario is, like, ostensibly a platformer? But it's not really. You know, it's really just, it's only a platformer in the sense that you, like, run and jump, right? But mostly it's just like RPG puzzles, RPG backtracking, RPG storytelling in like the form of a platformer. Figment and Figment 2 specifically, I guess I can't speak for. I can't speak to Figment 1. I haven't played it. I don't know if it's on like Game Pass. I don't think it's on Game Pass, that one. So, you know, you'd have to buy it or something. It's like an adventure game that's like reasonably cute. That is just like has some passable like Zelda-y, Bastion-y gameplay. That is again, you know, I said during the stream, which I feel like as I play it more might have been harsh. I said like I compared it to a line that was in a Sopranos episode I watched the other day, where Paulie makes Chrissy strip to do like a you know, to check for wires or whatever. Apparently they have to do that with like new maid guys these days because like you know, being like rats is so common. Anyway, in that scene, Paulie makes him strip down, and then he says, yeah, I guess you could call that a dick. As I said during the stream, yeah, I guess you could call that gameplay. But, yeah, it's fine. It's a puzzle game, really. It's an adventure game. And the gameplay is, like, okay. I think the part where the enemies sing their songs like a musical during boss fights is pretty cute. That much I like. Hey, do I have one more? I don't think so. I don't. You know what? We'll one more real fast. Started Deathloop on Xbox last week. Wanted to do during the Game Pass stream the multiplayer part of that game, which I never got to experience since I played it on PlayStation, and I don't have PlayStation Plus. I don't have the online anymore. And wanted to try that for the first time live, but unfortunately, which way is it? That way? I think it's that way. Unfortunately, didn't have hadn't started the single player, and you have to start the single player to do the multiplayer. I have now started the single player. I don't know if I'm gonna like fully replay it or anything. Honestly, with all the other games that have come out this year, I probably don't have time to spend more than a couple hours with it, just fooling around. But I went through like the tutorial areas and you know, got to the point where it like opens up and you can start doing stuff in normal style. And like yeah, Deathloop still one of the best fucking games of that year. You know, when the year came out. I love Deathloop. Deathloop's so good. And I just enjoyed playing it like very loosey-goosey, just like run and gun during like yesterday. Basically, like after I did a little bit of Figment, like a half hour, maybe maybe 20 minutes of Figment, I said like, ooh, let's do like 1 or 2 hours of Deathloop. And that was just so good. Deathloop, one hell of a game. Hey, we have now done the boss rush portion, where you just fight bosses that you've seen before. Now we're heading into the rest of Ganon's castle, which is, well, I guess actually, Phantom Ganon is also... Does Phantom Ganon count as a new boss? I mean... I wouldn't call this boss rush anymore. We're done with the boss rush. Is this where you call in your boats? Oh, boomerang. It's been so long since we had any, like, boomerang bits. Ba, 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 ba. Eh? Oh, it's the order that you fought them in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Eh? The opposite order that you fought them in. Why is this not working? I'm not even trying now, I'm just trying like random combinations. It doesn't like stay on the ground, does it? I already did it in the order that I fought them in, and like the reverse order. There's nothing else that I can think of. Must be something you get a hint for later, because I remember being a trivial matter. Whoa. Well, there we go. Just had to look in another room first. One, 2. Any? What do you want, King of Red Lions? Yes! Okay, dude. Yeah, I think I got it. The cutscene was very clear. 1, 2, 3, 4. What do you think this says? Does this say, like, you must remember the orders? No, it says something about the coming. That's actually a good tip. The sword hilt thing. You might not realize that. So it's the third one, then the first one, then it goes to the other side, the fourth one, and then the second one. Really just fucking could not make this more easy for someone who even like forgot a little bit. Even zooming into them in order. Why even have this puzzle if you're going to just if you're just gonna like lay on the solution that thickly? Like seriously. He found a waterway here. That's cool, dude. Why even have the puzzle at all if you're just going to, like, insist, like, oh, here's the solution. Here's the solution. Again, here's the solution. If you missed it, the solution's right here. They must have done a lot of testing and, like, half the people just didn't get it. Didn't realize, never found it. Just never set up this warp. Which, we're not gonna need because we're going to, like, finish the game right here. We're done. What would we even go get from the surface? I guess we could get more heart pieces. Nah. I think we're good. We're good on heart pieces. We're good on hearts. I got like a soup in my back pocket. I mean, maybe I could use some fairies. I'm still short a bottle. I could go find the submarine, get a second bottle. Or, sorry, a third bottle. I have 2. Maybe. I think we're fine. I think that we will be able to beat Ganondorf with just what we have. You know, this isn't a Tears of the Kingdom difficulty like boss fight, you know? You don't have to prepare that hard for it. Where's the door? That's where we came in, isn't it? This is where we came in. This is not gonna be. Hey, buddies. Where the hell are we going next? Where's the thing? I have been to this part of the game like so few times in my life, I don't know where the fuck you go. Triforce quest has just always been such a deterrent that this part of the game just... I don't know it. Like the back of my head. Honestly, I expected it to be just like, yeah, you fight the guys, you fight the 4 bosses, you fight, what's his face? Then you fight 2 more bosses, and there you go. And I think that is basically what it is. Okay, how do we fight Ganondorf? Phantom. Wind Waker walkthrough. Let's just Google that. Zelda Dungeon seems to be like the first result these days for like if you Google a walkthrough for a Zelda game. And I think they do good stuff. I've been using them for like Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Seasons. Let's see what they say about Ganon's Tower. This is the Ganon's Tower maze, I think. Yes, okay. Well, I guess we'll call this section Ganon's Tower maze. And you know, what else? Whatever else. Oh, you need to jump into the hole. Oh, I'm being silly. Of course, I need to jump into a hole. I got, I need to jump into this fucking pit. Didn't occur to me that this was a place where if I jumped in, I wouldn't die. Okay, here we go. What's up with this shit? Not forming a single thing. Okay, we need to ignore the reds. Deflect the blues. Oh. And this is like a pretty original take on the Lost Woods concept, you know? Instead of the Lost Woods being like earlier in the game, the Lost Woods is right here. I say the Lost Woods. The part where you have to like... navigate a confusing space, and you have to like find a clue that points you towards the next place you need to go. In this case, the sword, the way that it falls, points you where you need to go. And it's still in the series, like, probably like 90% of these things, of these sorts of puzzles, are in forests, you know? I guess because this game is set on the ocean, the open ocean, they had to get creative. And they couldn't just do it... That was different. They can't just do it, in a regular-ass forest. Ugh. I want another card. Pause just to time. Thinking about playing more Jedi Survivor and Like a Dragonetian, 2 games that I've been meaning to play more for a while since Heroes of the Kingdom kind of upstaged both of them. And, you know, there's been other games that have come around and, you know, very easily demanded a lot of my time and gotten it on account of being phenomenal games like Pikmin 4. I do think Diablo 4 wasn't... I've fallen off Diablo 4 in a big way, but I still think it's a... What, huh? I died? I didn't notice that I was so close to death there. Would it kill them to give me a fucking fairy? Outside every boss battle should be like a pot with a fairy in it. Seems like a simple enough thing, but, you know, whatever. This is where my boat is. The boat? Very least I can get max hearts before I leave. Anyway, those games, I'm definitely meaning to get back to them. I updated them on Xbox last time I played. Though, I updated them and then went, ooh, what about if I started up a, you know, the Xbox version of Deathloop? Wouldn't that be fun? And sure enough, it was fun. But doesn't get me any closer to finishing off those two other games. I'll play those sometime. It's definitely on my agenda. Have to find the time, you know, they're kind of long games, both of them. Though I think that Like a Dragon Ishin feels better on, like, as far as like how much it respects my time versus Jedi Survivor, which feels like really drawn out to me. Like, each area seems to take you about like 4 hours. Whereas I'd like each area to take me like 1 hour, you know? I'd like to blow through that game, but I think it's like 40 hours long. That's going to be a whole difficult thing. I guess maybe like, maybe it's meant for a person who has more free time than I do. I'd say I don't have free time, I just do a lot of streaming, I guess. And other such things I want to do take up time. I could have a lot more free time if I were to be like, okay, 2 less streams a week or something, or 1 less stream a week. But, I don't know, I like having a regular schedule. I feel like 3 streams is pretty good. 3 streams a week. I have considered, like, what if like every month one of the Thursday streams was not there, or like, oh, you know, we'll take that, or like going like bi-weekly on one of the days, one of the streams. Not Friday or Monday, because I feel like you always want to be making progress with a playthrough, and like viewer levels, that's sacrosanct. You can't touch that. That's like my main thing. But like the Thursday stream is a lot more flex. Maybe could, if I wanted more time, just reduce that to bi-weekly. That said, I have like so many ideas for like Thursday streams and other such things that by the time a Thursday stream comes around, usually I have an idea that I'm like hot to, I'm like excited to go ahead and do, right? It's not like I'm just like sitting there going like, well, shit, I have to do something. What am I gonna do? It's usually more like, oh, I have an idea. Let's do it. It's been a while since I played this on stream. And, there's a lot of games you can play on stream. So there's always gonna be something good that I haven't done in too long, or haven't done it all. You name it, you know? This looks to be the last one, which is great. Okay, good. Fantastic. There's the light arrow. I've always found the last dungeon of most Zelda games to be quite thrown off, you know? Like, here's the dungeon. There's 4 rooms around you. You go into each room in turn, and you fight a boss you've already fought before. Oh. There's no keys, and the key item is, like, not used. No puzzles surround the key item. I almost think that, like... Oh, shit. I almost think, like, Wind Waker is actually kind of smart in that it doesn't fucking bother with it. It's just like, yo. There we go, fuck you. Majora's Mask is just like, yo, fuck you. There's 4 dungeons. They're all real dungeons, and then you go to the moon, and there's like a bunch of mini games, and then the final boss, you can just fight them immediately if you like. What the fuck? I threw that. What? Huh? I didn't think that would do anything. I was just picking that up and throwing it for like fun. I would have thought like the light arrow would do the trick. For like, if something were to open up a door. Anyway. I guess Ocarina also doesn't use bosses in that way, but uses instead like, it's just like a labyrinth of like, a mini room for each dungeon. Which I think is a little much. I think that's a little too much bother, you know? And in the case of, Twilight Princess, it's like a dungeon, but it's pretty much all combat, if I recall. I actually don't remember that well. It's been a long, long time since I finished Twilight Princess. When I got it on the Wii U, I only got as far as Castle in the Sky before bailing out and just, you know, not finishing it. So it was on the GameCube last time I finished it. So you understand. All I remember that dungeon is like, okay, it was Hyrule Castle, and it was kind of destroyed and maybe a little bit desaturated because of plot reasons. Not a great dungeon. The Twilight Zone dungeon was also not great. Any dungeon I think that forgoes alt puzzles and like puzzle and like dungeon item structure in favor of just like, here's a bunch of rooms that you fight guys in, go wild. That's just really boring to me. I want a good puzzle. I want to like get an item that recontextualizes the dungeon and makes it so that I go through rooms again, but this time I go through them so much differently. It's cool. I have one more card here about a game. I just bought Misericorde Volume 1. I need to find the time for it, I guess. Another game to find time for. This is a visual novel made by a guy who does a podcast, or a person that does a podcast that I really like. ZC. They are a host on the Shrieking Shack. No longer a podcast for lapsed Harry Potter. A Harry Potter reread podcast no longer. They are now reading the Hunger Games series, and they're very good podcast, very good listen. You know, they read, they do very deep reads. They talk about like, oh, you know, what the fuck's up with it, and do a lot of stuff about like the community aspect of all this shit, which is interesting to delve into, you know. And in particular, this visual novel was apparently, I think, very much inspired by like visual novels such as Umineko and Higurashi. I have some images here. One of like a sale promo. Apparently, it's on sale. There's some sort of visual novel event going on Steam. It's 30% off if you want to pick it up right now, like for like $6 or something. Went ahead and did that. Seemed like a good idea. Looks a little bit like this. It's all black and white. There's text at the bottom, but it takes place in a nunnery. The setting looks nice to me. There's a bunch of nuns, and sometimes they're cute and a little bit, you know, a little bit impish, I suppose. Oh, and also a murder or something takes place. It's some sort of murder. It's some sort of like murder mystery type deal. Something is afoot at this nunnery. The inspirations are great. I love Umineko. I love Higurashi. And I really enjoyed a couple of years ago when they, on their bonus podcast, were talking about Umineko and Higurashi. In fact, like, on the bonus pod, them talking about those two visual novels got me to read them and, you know, enjoy the hell out of them. And also, it just so happened to time up with them putting up the release of a Higurashi sequel series, which turned out to be really cool. Higurashi Go, and also Sotsu. Go is better than Sotsu, but you know, who's keeping track? Anyway, when that got me into that, and I think I'll probably get into this as well. I haven't heard them talk that much about it. Like they haven't mentioned it on the pod, on the Shrieking Shack for a while, but I should really try it out. I don't know how many volumes there's gonna be. If it's just a two-parter or like, you know, who knows. But I want to check it out. Hey, I think through this door is major cutscenes. I think we have gotten out of the maze and similar type areas. I think we are now into like the final two fights of the game. And cutscene land as well. I have more cards, but I don't expect to use them during this stream. I'll probably use them next stream, or maybe on the Friday stream, failing that. I can always talk about things at a later time. That's all fine. And hell, it makes it so that I don't have to come up with that much. I don't have to think of that much more to talk about, you know, before next time. Do not be so hasty. She is, sleeping. Oceans, oceans, oceans. She loves the ocean. She's only known the ocean. They are vast seas. None can swim across them. They yield no fish to catch. Only the fishmen, who are, you know, friendly, but they're weird and you can't eat them because they talk to you. Ugh. What the fuck? What do the people eat? I guess they eat pigs and chickens, which they raise on their islands off grain. I don't know. It's unclear what the people eat, if all this is true. I will say, Ganondorf here in these scenes, in this ending, is like the coolest thing about the coolest thing about this ending. Which is like, yeah, Ganondorf just has so much like pathos here, talking about like, yeah, man, this world that you've created, that the gods have created, it fucking sucks. The wind, that fucking sucks too. These are suck-ass seas. These are suck-ass seeds. That's basically what he's saying. The seas, they're so suck-ass. In my homeland, the wind also sucked ass. Oh my god. What did the gods say? What did the king of Hyrule say? The gods sealed Hyrule away. Man, they shouldn't have done, though. It just... terrible. Ridiculous. So many pathetic creatures scattered across a handful of islands, drifting on the sea like fallen leaves on a forgotten pool. What the fuck? That's basically what he's saying. All of you. Your gods destroyed you. They fucked you up big time, man. You're the hero. I've been waiting for you. I'm not gonna fight you yet. Oh yeah, that's fucking creepy, man. That's not him anymore. At some point, he pulled the switcheroo and switched with Puppet Ganon. A new spin on the old formula. Now, you know what speedrunners do during this fight. I don't know if you know what speedrunners do during this fight, but they just no-scope the motherfucker. He's got like a vulnerable tail. And they just go like, hiya! They just go like, hiya! Just go like, hiya! It's not gonna work. You like grab hold of the thing. You know what we could use? We could use the boomerang. Eh? Seems like it's having limited effect. Oh, why did it work that time? I don't understand why it worked that time. Maybe you just have to hit each thread enough times. Okay. That's definitely it. Oh shit. All right, there we go. A little inconvenient having to aim and shoot all with one finger, because we have to have all our projectiles mapped. Can't just do what the logical thing here would be and just like... The hell? Dude. There we go. Still moving around, predictably. Okay. Where's our boomerang? My hand. Sometimes this boomerang seems to get lost on the way to the string, you know? When the string is spinning really fast. Jesus. Target on the string. Target on the string. The hell, man? Why are you spinning so much? I can't target you when you're spinning! My God. That looks pretty good, too. I feel like I might have no-scoped it there. I say no-scope. That was clearly scoped. Can you do something with his mouth? That looks like you can target his mouth. Why am I... Okay. Okay, he's dead, question mark. Oh no, that music ain't right. I know well enough that he's not dead. I remember there's like 3 phases to this fight. Spider face. Like... I bet the idea here is you put a bomb in his mouth. I bet you put a bomb in his mouth and run around back. What? Hammer his mouth? What do you do to his mouth? Maybe it is bomb. Maybe I just threw it wrong. No, if it's bomb, then that can't be. I'll tell you one thing, he's not scary. These guys are dropping more than enough magic and... I guess you just walk and eventually he comes up on the wrong side. This camera. They did a great job with this port, but they can make it so that you could look up. Okay, you just like use the camera and like the reflective surface. I guess if you look down, you don't have to look up. That was Wind Waker's clever solution to like, wait a minute, you can't look up, so you can't see what's above you anymore. So how exactly are you gonna tell? Well, the surface of the ground below you is reflective. Ah, perfect. I would rather you just could look up. That's how I would do it. That's what I would suggest. Okay. I think here we're just supposed to no-scope it. Right? Bam. I need to grab some more magic. From where exactly? Here. From here exactly. Try to hit him from here. Oops. Let's see. I think this is the final hit. Now, obviously, there's not like the bullet time where go in the air. But if there were, dang it, felt pretty good too. These guys will have some magic. Get off. Okay. That's it! No. There we go. That's it. Not quite a called shot. Took a couple tries. But that's in the books. That's done. Ah. Yes, it is Link. That's right. Come on up. Let's go. The final boss fight shall be up there. All right. Well, folks. Fucking grab the rope! Gotta jump on it, don't I? That's how you... Of course, that's how you grab a rope. You can't just, like, do it from the ground. You gotta jump. How silly of me. There's some weird stuff in this game that, you know, you could polish up. But it's still one of the best 3D Zeldas. Short, of the original run. A damn sight better than anything they did after, until, like, say, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. I mean, after Tears of the Kingdom, I'm not sure Breath of the Wild is as high as it once was. Like, I don't know if I would put Breath of the Wild over Wind Waker anymore. But no, they're both in that echelon, in that tier, I would say, of, like, the best Zelda games. Issues aside. Alright, well, then. I think there's fairies. Fairies in these, right? There's fairies somewhere. I remember there being a fairy thing that was, wasn't there a fairy thing that was like the whole key to a whole glitch in the original Wind Waker? Can't remember. Maybe the fairies was actually the fairies were a Tingle Tuner thing, weren't they? So there's not like there's fairies just waiting for us. Like in one of these pots. Oh, hell yeah, there are. Okay, good. Let me grab one. Alright, Alright, we have a fairy. Happy little fella. Happy little lady. Well, we could go back and, like, you know, grab another bottle or something before we go fight the final Ganondorf fight. Doesn't sound like a bad idea. Get another fairy, have a little extra, like, juice in the, in us. A little extra health. Why bother? Let's just go finish this. We're about 2 hours in. This will be maybe a half hour to an hour shorter than the previous installments of this game. You know, the previous streams of this game, but I'm okay with that. Nice short stream is pretty good now and again, and I do have more cards left. I'll talk about them next time. Nothing like critical was in any of the cards that remain. You know what? I'll do this next one. Hey, there was a My Hero Academia movie announced. It's just called The Movie. It's the 4th movie. Bit of a weird title. Probably will be pretty good. You know, I really enjoyed. I think it's set like basically where the main series is right now, which is pretty damn cool. Which means that we'll see some, I don't know, Dark Deku. We'll see some Deku at his most powerful, and a whole movie's worth of that. That sounds pretty dope. Looking forward to that. Whoops, I double-clicked there. Ignore that one. We'll talk about that maybe next stream. Anyway, hey! Look at where we are. We're outside the door to the final boss. In there is Ganondorf. Let's go kick his ass and then see what happens. He's gonna hit us with some more pathos. Oh, look at this view. My country lay within a vast desert. When the sun rose in the sky, a burning wind punished my lands, searing the world. When the moon climbed into the dark of night, a frigid gale pierced our homes. No matter when it came, the wind carried the same thing. Death. Damn, dude. But the winds that blew across the green fields of Hyrule brought something other than suffering and ruin. I coveted that wind. It can only be called fate that here I would again gather the 3 with the quest. Would again. So he's done it before. Here at this tower that he built. The 3, and I guess he won. Wait, isn't the backstory that he was beaten, sealed away, and then he came back? Are you sure it's not that he won, and then, you know, the gods did a thing to prevent it from being a real victory? I don't know. I do really love the pathos that Ganondorf has here. I think it's really clever. And I really like shows his perspective on like the main theme of the game, the wind. And also makes you wonder, like, wait, so the King of Hyrule like used to conduct the winds, right? But he conducted the winds before the ocean was there. So why was he conducting the wind? Like for weather? To like move clouds around and irrigate fields? I don't get it. I don't. In retrospect, it doesn't make so much sense that like the King of Hyrule would care so much about the wind, you know, unless he was like going out to sea or something. Unless the Wind Waker was a thing started up like after. It started up like after the oceans were there. I don't know. Let's just see what he says. That I should lay my hand on the truth branch to beholder. Power, wisdom, courage come together. The gods have no choice but to come on down. Power of the gods, the Triforce. He who touches it will get a thing. He's got wisdom. All that remains is courage. He's also got power. And yeah, there's the thing. What's up? That face. That grin, what a fuck. Hell of a grin. Nearly have need of the power. He just beat us senseless. Real fucking fast. Oh fuck me. I gathered up all this Triforce, only to just lose the fight immediately. And there you go, the 3 pieces have been assembled into one, the Triforce. Singing a monologue some more? Gods! Expose this land to the rays of the sun once more. Let him burn forth. Give Hyrule to me. He who touches it will have whatever God he desires granted. Oh shit, King Hyrule. Just going ahead and stealing it. It's a clever plot twist. I love that the King of Hyrule just gets in on there and does a thing. Gods, hey, listen up. Hope. I want hope. Give him a future. Wash away the ancient land of Hyrule. Let a ray of hope shine on this world. And, you know, let them found a new let them, like, not found a new Hyrule, but someone in the future, specifically a goat man. I want him to found the Hyrule. And when the goat man founds new Hyrule, I want it to last for 10,000 years before they have to really fight with Ganondorf. That's a pretty good run of not fighting with Ganondorf, all things considered. Like 10,000 years, like goddamn. I know you had to fight with Ganondorf for like, you know, a couple hundred years at the end of that line, but I think that's a pretty good span of time. Rip old Hyrule. Damn, these images are so cool too. The imagery here. It's fucking dope. Just like a torrential downpour to the point where like literal waterfalls of water are falling all around you. In this spot, it's sort of the calm in the middle of the storm. It's just like rain here. I'll take my sword back. I'm good. Hey, Tetra. Thank you. All right. Let's find out how much our precious Triforce is worth. Did she steal my bow? She did steal my bow. Not in my inventory anymore. Oh, you know what I need to do? I need to use my counter move. Just gonna equip my my mother's soup. Let's back off a little bit. And yeah, it's time to drink up the soup. Thank you, Grandmama. Okay. Need to be close enough to counter. Okay, he's going after Zelda. How's the volume right now? Hang on, let me check. Seems like it might be a bit louder than normal. Let me take that down like a scotch. Just one more scotch. There we go. Okay, hopefully that's, we're good. I wish games would just, like, stick to a constant audio. I don't like to be constantly adjusting if I can help it. Time to drink my potion. Grandmama, thank you very much. How do you dodge that? What the fuck? He's learned to, Okay. We need a new strategy, and she's got it. Come on. Okay. I got this guy on my ass. I can't stop. There we go. That's it. It's not too hard. The writing is like the best it's ever been in this game, you know, the best it ever is in this game. At the very end, the stuff about the wind, about his homeland, about the way he thinks that, you know, Hyrule, the new Hyrule, the whole Great Ocean kind of sucks ass. And hey, does getting rid of the lower Hyrule make the Great Ocean like maybe a little bit more livable? You know, can there be fish? Can there be like bottom dwellers? I guess previously, like, you know, there's a lot of fish that need to live on like the ocean floor. And there is no ocean floor here. It's all, you know, Hyrule. My thoughts, turn of the kingdom of old. I've lived bound to Hyrule. You were the same as Ganondorf. Yeah, sort of an immortal. Yeah, you guys are like hundreds of years old now. Old ghosts, you know. Somehow clinging on to like your youth forever. I think the King of Hyrule might literally be some sort of ghost guy. He might literally be, like, in later games, he is a ghost. So, I think the idea is that he is somewhat undead. Somewhat spiritual. He's not really dying here, but more just giving up his lease on like, afterlife. No, that's not it. His lease on life. His attachment to the mortal plane. You know, that sort of thing. He's not supposed to be immortal. You can come with us. Yeah, we'll find a new land. There'll be a new Hyrule. Come on, man. That land will not be Hyrule. It'll be your land. Goodbye, King. We love you. The Master... Wait! We're leaving the Master Sword here? What the fuck? How did the tree get it? How did it get from under the ocean to, like, the new Deku tree by the time of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom? And, like, the founding of Hyrule 2. Which, by the way, you know, the King of Red Lions... Did I just miss the part where he says, when you find a new land, don't call it Hyrule? Did he say that? Shit. I feel like he said that. That's a good line. I feel like I glossed over it. It was there, right? Must have been there. Fuck. Hey, buddy! The pirates are here. Funny pirates. We love them. Hey, guys. And also our sister. She's still with the pirates? Go home. Why didn't you bring her home, like, immediately? I guess maybe if she got re-kidnapped. There'd be no point to re-kidnapping her. Though, because, you know, I guess as a hostage, maybe, You could do better than Link's sister, though, like, Princess, you know, Zelda, best hostage. You didn't really need to protect her, you guys. Oh, and those two were also here. Well, I guess they can't live underwater forever. Actually, you know what? That makes sense that they'd be here. Because, like, they were in Hyrule 2. They were in Hyrule 2 as well. So they had to be, like, maybe they were also bubbled out. And like, oh shit, we were playing our music to, like, you know, power up the ocarina. And then, we had to make a hasty exit there. Well, after this, there's the events of, the DS games. Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks. I think Spirit Tracks might be a dream. I'm not 100% sure about that. I think I heard somewhere it was a dream and not a real entry. Or maybe Phantom Hourglass is the one that's not real. Anyway, point is, what happens next is it would seem that they turn around and they found a new kingdom called Hyrule. Now you might be wondering, like, wait, the King of Hyrule just said not to do that. Well, look, he only told two people, Tetra and Link. And there's a lot more people in this world. And it's not Tetra or Link who named the Kingdom Hyrule, the new Kingdom Hyrule. It was a guy named, what's his name? It's been a bit since I played Tears of the Kingdom. His name is, what the fuck is that guy's name? Tears of the Kingdom. Goatman. It was founded by a new character who was named Rauru. That's right, Rauru. There we go. Rauru named the Kingdom Hyrule. It wasn't anyone who was told by the King of Hyrule, hey, that name's taken. I know the kingdom is destroyed under the sea, but don't reuse it, okay? Nah, Rauru said, nah, we're calling it Hyrule. Why? Well, I asked my new wife. He said, I asked my wife, what is your ethnicity, wife? And she said, Hylian. Okay, we'll go with the name Hyrule then. Perfect. And most of my people are Hylians as well. That was sort of the founding thing. Now, you would have thought, like, well, why don't you call it, like, Zonian? Well, there were only like 2 of them left at that point, and they were, you know, related, so they couldn't reproduce. You know, they were dead-ended, basically. I guess the Zonai were, infertile or something. You know, they had like a high requirement for reproduction, such that their population just dwindled over time, even outside of war times, or, you know, notable famine. Or maybe it was just like hell on earth until such time as there was only 2 of them left, at which point they said like, okay, we're going to get these power of the gods under control, we're gonna just have the people that we trust have them. Maybe there were all sorts of wars that the Zonais had with each other, with themselves, with all their godly powers, before such time as Ganondorf came onto the scene. That would have to be like between eras of like, you know, maybe there's some missing piece in the story here. Like, oh, maybe at some point someone wished away the Triforce, but wished it in such a form where it's like, okay, the gods of the Triforce, I know if I wish away the Triforce, it's gonna just turn the land into ruin, like it did with Hyrule. But what if instead I wished you guys into Goatmen? I wish that all the gods of the Triforce came down here and, like, just played a role in human events, in Hylian events, just normal style. And that turned out to be a bad wish because when the Zonai came down, they came down and they squabbled with each other, and they had all sorts of godly powers, which, you know, was quite harmful to Hylian society for a while, and caused them all to regress, while, you know, the Zonai were dominant or something. And then they sort of declined because they're gods, they're not supposed to be procreating. At which point, and maybe also some of them transformed into dragons. It's probably a whole thing. Should I say that? Is whole fucking, you know, there was a whole bunch of fucking stuff that probably happened. And then, you know, this Kingdom of Hyrule was established, and, there you have it. Zelda and Link, or Tetra and Link, and we're gonna call her Tetra. That's her name. She doesn't go by Zelda. Oh hey, the final scene, let's go. I guess that's the end of, random universe timeline speculation during the credits. Okay. The ship is dead. The King of Red Lions is dead. Look at it. It's no longer animate. What the hell? The boat is Beetle's boat is overlapping with the pirate ship. How the hell does that happen? Move Beetle's boat. Anchors away. Hold the tiller. As for the destination, the wind will guide us. Ha ha ha. We're gonna go south, baby. If they're going north, they're gonna find all the islands that they know. Until they get like 5 minutes. Until they sail for about 10 minutes, at which point they will be in waters unknown, I suppose. Bye, Errol. Kinda sad that, you know, we didn't get a heartfelt reunion with her and Grandmama and the whole deal. You would have thought that after you saved her, you could return back home and she'd be waiting there with Grandmama and you'd all hug and kiss and shit. Eh? Yeah, sure. This will be the new game plus file. Alright. right, the file's gone. We can't even go back in it. Maybe we shouldn't have done that. I already have a New Game Plus file already available. You know. The file's gone. It's gone. And of that one, I apparently got like midway into the game. Well, I had about as many hearts as I did in the future one. Actually, don't want to input. Probably shouldn't have done that. But whatever, it doesn't matter. Good shit. I guess if ever I come back to it, I'll start it. I'll do a New Game Plus. Hopefully. Hopefully. Hopefully, it'll come out on Nintendo Switch or Nintendo Switch 2, whatever it's going to be called, before I get the need to replay it. I will say, most likely, that replay would not be on stream. With all the possible games I could be replaying on stream, it seems silly to replay the same game twice, you know? It's not outside the realm of possibility, though, I suppose, with the most beloved games, with my favorite games of all time, especially if they're short enough, you know? Like, I could see doing Banjo-Kazooie again, and you know, I'm sure I'll do a complete Banjo DKC. I'll do the DKCs again at some point. Like, those are short. I can do those in, you know, a couple hours. You know, and they're just good-ass things to play through. Alrighty then. That's gonna do it for Wind Waker HD. One hell of a game. Good ending. Definitely a lot better than the Triforce Hunt. But it is kind of, yeah. You know, it is kind of just like, here's some bosses. Here's one more boss. Here's one more boss. And here's a final boss. You know? There's no puzzles. There's no real progression. You know, there's not really any interesting, like, spaces to navigate. But it's nice. I like the story. The story is the best in the final parts than it is throughout the entire game. Ganondorf is cool as fuck. It's good. That's gonna do it. I'm gonna pull up the schedule now. Well, bam, here's the schedule. No Monday stream next week. I will start a replay of StarCraft 2, Wings of Liberty, the first campaign of StarCraft 2, August 21st, 2 weeks from now. Next week, I have jury duty on next Monday, so I'm gonna take that stream off, given that. Gonna make sure it doesn't go to the thing. Thursday night, I'm thinking about seeing if I can manage to do, if I can manage to run Metroid Prime 2 randomizer. And if I can't, if it just won't run good with a good frame rate and doesn't, and like just constantly stutters or something, we'll do Metroid Fusion randomizer instead. That is my plan for Thursday. I'm gonna pencil that in right now. Friday will be viewer levels, and then next Thursday, you know, I don't know, we'll see. I might do like a Tuesday or a Wednesday stream next week, given that I won't do a Monday stream. Or hey, who knows, maybe a Sunday stream. I kind of like leaving my weekend open. I kind of like having a Sunday where I do nothing. Maybe Tuesday, I don't know, we'll see. We'll see what I'm thinking. We'll see if I have any ideas for streams. I'm going to sit in the raid, and that'll be it for this this here stream series, this playthrough of Wind Waker HD. Let me see who's online, who's streaming. Well, it's a couple people. Let me think for a second who I want to do the raid on. Let me see here. Make a decision. I'm gonna raid, let's go with Betsap. Let's go with Betsap. Doing, shit, what is Betsap doing? I just think it just said Zelda E-Vibes. That seems appropriate. Oh, doing Tears of the Kingdom. Well, that's another Zelda game. Perfect. Can't do any better than that as far as, like, relevant things to go for. Perfect. That works. I will see y'all on Thursday. Again, the plan is Metroid Prime 2 Randomizer. I'm not sure if it's going to run good on my computer while OBS is running and the stream is going. And if it turns out that doesn't work, we'll do Metroid Fusion Randomizer instead, which I know will work perfectly fine and I like to play. So we got a good plan and a good backup plan just in case it just doesn't work while streaming. I might need to get a new PC before I can stream that, but we'll see. And also Friday, no Monday stream next week, but StarCraft 2 Wings of Liberty, the first of the 3 campaigns, will start next Monday, or in 2 weeks from now. The way that those are going to work is I'm going to do one campaign of StarCraft, then some other game, a campaign of StarCraft, some other game, and we'll go into the future. Goodbye, folks. I'll see you on Thursday for Metroid Prime 2 Randomizer or Fusion, if that doesn't work. Bye.